Yes, everybody, welcome back to another match preview here on Talking Wolves. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe. And today we're going to be previewing the clash between Crystal Palace and Wolves as Bruno Lage's side go to Selhurst Park on Saturday, looking to hopefully continue our unbeaten run. As always, guys, be sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let me know your thoughts ahead of this game in the comment section down below. But before we kick off today's preview, guys, be sure to go and check out our channel partners over at Football Prizes, who this week have got this fantastic Wolves bundle up for grabs. An Adama Traore signed and framed montage alongside a Ruben Neves signed and framed football boot. I'll leave a link to that in the top of the description and enter their prize draw before the competition ends next Wednesday. But a really positive result once again on Monday against Everton. It was great to be back at Molineux. And once again, we have to wait a few more weeks after this game because we move on to the international break after this match. At the time of recording, we've seen Conor Cody once again called up to the England team. We've seen a few players such as Semedo, Matinho and Neves called up to the Portugal team. Unfortunately, no Max Kilman in the England side. There were very small rumours about Kilman. But you know what? He could concentrate on his club football at Wolves. And hopefully, kick on and maybe going into the new year, we can see a break into Gareth Southgate's plans. But a really positive result against Everton, sort of learning from our mistakes, you could say, against Leeds United. Being a little bit more ruthless in front of goal, but still creating some great opportunities on Monday. Even when we sort of took our foot off the gas in the second half, we still created those opportunities and arguably could have had 3 or 4 goals in both halves. So promising signs, and hopefully we can just be a bit more ruthless now on Saturday. We play a Crystal Palace side that have just come off the back of a huge win over Manchester City, and obviously did a really good job there. City had a lot of the ball, had the chances. They did go a man down, but Palace took full advantage of that and picked up what is a fantastic victory. And Patrick Vieira's side at the moment, still sort of finding their feet under the Frenchman, but look, only lost 2 games all season, albeit they've only won 2 games. I think they've got 6 draws in there, but these games are, on another day they could have turned it around and got the wins and been a lot higher up the table. So they are going to be a tough side to play against. As always, team news as such isn't out as of yet. Bruno Lage will address the press on Friday, so be sure to follow us on Talking Wolves, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for the updates on that throughout Friday. But from what we know, it looks like it's going to be a very similar side or a very similar squad available to what it was against Everton on Monday. And that's why this will probably be my predicted lineup for that game. And I've actually gone unchanged, folks. I've gone with Jose Sarr starting goal once again. Although I had that little bit of an error against Everton on Monday, still made up for it with some cracking stops and really kept us in the game with 1 or 2 of his saves. Same back 5, Ryan Aït-Nouri now. That left wing back spot is his own. Marcel may well be back available for selection for Saturday. I think Aït-Nouri has done enough to keep his spot in the side. Nelson Semedo on the right-hand side there for us. Again, had an impressive spell, an impressive game overall, actually, against Everton. And the back 3 remaining. Romain Saiss, Conor Cody and Max Kilman there at the back. Midfield 2, I would stick with Neves and Matinho. I thought Neves in particular was superb on Monday, but those 2 together just seem to work. Although there have been games where they've sort of been outdone by a couple of midfielders, or how teams have set up with their midfield. But I think those 2, especially against Everton, did a cracking job. And then the front 3, I would stick with the same. Hwang Hee-chan, Raul Jimenez, Francisco Trincao. And I think that possibly is why maybe we're not scoring enough goals, is because we've had to chop and change that front 3 so much. And sometimes out of Bruno's control. Obviously, with Jimenez coming back late from the internationals a few weeks ago. We had Trincao, unfortunately, pick up COVID a few weeks ago. So we've not really had that opportunity to sort of have a consistent front 3, really. So I'm hoping now those 3 did a cracking job, especially in the first half against Everton. Hwang and Jimenez combining really well. And Trincao having a really strong first half, I thought he was a little bit slower and off the pace a little bit more in the second half. And maybe that's just him trying to come back to full match sharpness and match fitness. But you could tell there's something a little bit special about him and a little bit more quality than him. Look, I'm always trying to bang that Adama drum on these match team predictions. I always try and squeeze Adama in there, don't I? You know that. But I think a lot of people complain that Adama didn't come on against Everton, but you could argue Podence came on ahead of Adama because Bruno wanted to keep the ball a little bit more, wanted to hold possession a little bit more, and that's sort of exactly what we did. If Adama picked up the ball against Everton for last 20-25 minutes, yes, he may have pushed us up the pitch slightly, but there's every chance he would have lost the ball a little bit more and allowed Everton a little bit more of the ball. So I could see why Bruno did what he needed to do. But I would be fairly surprised if he made any changes. Unless there were any injuries or fitness issues, for me, it's got to be unchanged after that win against Everton on Monday. So, guys, we're going to move on now to the opposition preview. I spoke to Palace fan D from Back of the Nest channel, and this is his thoughts ahead of the game at Selhurst Park on Saturday. So guys, delighted to welcome D from Back of the Nest onto the channel today for the opposition preview. Firstly, mate, how are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm loving life right now. We've both got, different managers. I'm excited. I'm finally, this is the phrase I use. We finally got our Palace back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a stale few years under Roy Hodgson, wasn't it? And he's sort of, I think, finally packed it in. And you guys have got someone in Vieira who, although he hasn't got much Premier League experience as a manager, comes in with different ideas for you guys. I mean, looking at the start of the season, you're currently 13th in the league. You're drawing a lot of games. You've got more draws than IKEA at the moment on that table. But you look. To be fair, the matches or the teams that you're holding and the teams that you're beating, it's promising signs for Palace, isn't it, so far?
Yeah, look, the draws, as you mentioned, we can't get rid of it. And I don't think the table is a true reflection of our performances. For example, the Arsenal game, we drew that at their ground with the last second of the game due to the fact that, we weren't concentrating on set piece and they scored a corner. We were the better side throughout the 90 minutes in that game. And then you look at the Brighton game at home. Once again, it was not even the last minute, the last kick of the game. All we had to do is kick it out, and we didn't do that, and we conceded like that. So we should have way more points. Well, not way more. We should have at least 4 to 5 extra points than we currently have. And then you're looking at the league table and you're looking at Palace being only 3 points off the top 4. I'm not saying that is our objective, but it just shows that we've had some solid performances. So this season under Vieira has given us a fresh breath of air. Trust me, look, Roy Hodgson done his thing in terms of keeping us up, and I respect them for that. But we've had Roy Hodgson as a manager, Alan Pardew as a manager, Sam Allardyce as a manager, Tony Pulis as a manager since we got promoted. And as you can see, like, I was just saying, what are we trying to achieve? Like, it came to a point where I was happy with us getting relegated if we at least tried something. And finally, we got Vieira, who was arguably our last choice manager in the list. And I like this though because he was the underdog, and I like the underdog mentality. Palace, when we got promoted, we weren't meant to stay up, and we managed to stay up with Tony Pulis. So Vieira's come in, changed the whole mentality of the club, and you can see it. The players are enjoying it, and whatever game we go into, whether it's City away at home or Wolves at home, our mentality at the club is that we can win every single game, and I just love it. We're at least finally trying to go and win games. It sounds so simple, but we weren't doing it for many years.
Oh, I said to you sort of on the sort of other preview on your channel that, as fans, that's all you expect really, isn't it? You want good performances. You want to see your team trying to attack and win games and at least play half decent football that you're going to enjoy watching it and look forward to a Saturday or Sunday or whatever when you're playing games. But looking at the table, I mean, it's still early days, but you're right, it's so close. That game against Arsenal, for argument's sake, if it went your way, you'd be sort of top half of the table. Another result, changing those draws into wins. And you're right, you are going to be sort of 5th or 6th in the table. And like you said, you've had a tough start to the season. And I think for you boys, between now and Christmas, say ignore that United game, but even United are at the moment beatable.
Yeah.
You've got ourselves, you've got Burnley, you've got Villa, you've got Leeds, then United, Everton, Southampton, then Watford. Mate, for me, ignoring Wolves, ignoring United, you boys can win every single one of those games, can't you? Like, I'm not going to say you're gonna, but they're winnable games for you boys, aren't they?
Well, this is the key thing about it. Look, we've faced some hard teams and we've put performances and we've managed to get draws out of games where normally you wouldn't expect Palace to get points from. But it's now about what we can do against teams that are on our level. Like against Wolves, against you guys, that's going to be a good test because both teams are decent. You got good players. You guys played good against Everton. We played good against City. So I think it'll be more even. But against Burnley, for example, we need to win that game. We need to win that game against Villa. How they've been performing lately, we should be winning that game. And if we do get them wins, we've got some winnable game. We've got some winnable games coming up. But of course, it doesn't always turn out like that. But if we do win them games, then around Christmas time, you're looking at Palace sitting God knows where. The sky is the limit with them games. I think pretty much everyone that we're facing right now, that our upcoming games up until Christmas, they're all winnable games. And that is loads of games as well. You're talking about 10 games that Palace could win. And you're talking about, 30 out of 30 points, how many can we get? But as I said, it's the big test. Can we win those games? We should, because our performances have been up there against tougher opponents. But then again, we drew 1-1 against Newcastle at home, whilst having 75% possession. So it's about concentration. It's about consistency. It's about building momentum at this point. But as you said, that's why I got a smile on my face. We need to, and we should be picking up more points and climbing up the table.
Yeah, I mean, look, even if you don't win at every single one of those games, you can win about half or 3/4 of those. You could be top 7 or top 8 come Christmas, and that would be obviously a huge achievement for you guys. Just quickly looking at your transfers now, obviously Vieira came in as an outsider looking in sort of during the summer when you were looking for a manager. I think one of the concerns for me as a neutral was saying who's going to go to that Palace side with the state they're currently in. And I think we spoke about it again before. The board needed to back whoever came in. I think you were linked with Lampard. There was Nuno even linked for a little bit. There was was it Favre, the ex-Dortmund manager was close. Yeah, close. And Vieira's come in. But looking at the transfers, I mean, give me your thoughts on some of these. Obviously, Gallagher's coming on loan. Will Hughes, you spent a bit of money on. Elise, who's pretty highly rated from Reading. Edouard from Celtic. Anderson from Lyon. And spent a little bit of money. Is it Gueye, is it, the centre-back?
Yeah, Mark Gueye, yeah.
Yeah, from Chelsea. I mean, out of those, have all of those been playing quite regularly? Or out of those, who's been your pick of the players so far?
Conor Gallagher. When I talk about this guy, I've seen Conor Gallagher play. I've seen him play at West Brom. I've seen him play. I've heard about him. Not seen him play before West Brom. I'm not going to lie here, but I've heard about him. He's always been this huge talent. He's also played for the England youth sides as well. But Conor Gallagher under Patrick Vieira has reached levels that I have not seen before, and I don't think anyone has seen before. He's always a hard-working man, but on the ball right now, if you go and look at the City highlights, he was involved defensively. He scored a goal, of course. Box to box, running into, getting the ball, running with it, getting in the box, just going out wide, supporting players. He's all over the pitch. Conor Gallagher. We talk about Wilfried Zaha. When you talk about Palace, you talk about Wilfried Zaha straight away. You say that's the star man. But arguably this season, Conor Gallagher might be above him, which is crazy because we're no longer a team. With all that backing that we've had with Vieira, we're no longer a team that relies just on Wilfried Zaha. Of course, he's our top player, and on his day, he ruins everyone. But if you send 2-3 players on Zaha, Conor Gallagher can run with the ball. Olise, if he starts, he is... Honestly, technically, I have not seen a player like that at Palace for, I can't remember when. I just think he's just up there. In terms of, you saw it with the second goal that we scored. He's just turning John Stones inside out. On the ball, he's absolutely ridiculous. He's better than even Conor Gallagher. But yeah, that's what we've done. We've backed Vieira, and now we've got players where they can go out there and be the star man for the game. It doesn't have to be Wilfried Zaha. Edouard as well. He's come in and he's played out wide, and I've never seen him really play out wide. I thought he's more going to be a central player, a striker. He's going to be finishing, but he can play out wide. So overall, I've been very impressed by the performance from the backing that Vieira's got, and also some of the new signings. They've all been involved one way or another, and they've all, pretty much every single one of them, apart from Will Hughes, who hasn't been involved, have been very good for us, and you can see the impact they've had on the squad.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Elise was somebody that Wolves have been linked to for a couple of years, and I think, for a player of his age and for the amount of money you spent on him, that is a great investment, especially if he's able to contribute now and be a top player for you. And same with Gallagher, obviously he's only on loan. Do you think Palace, if all goes well, do you think Palace have got a chance to sign him permanently, or do you think it's something that Chelsea would keep hold of?
Chelsea should keep a hold of him, but as we know with these big clubs, they can easily replace these players, can't they? So
Yeah.
Gallagher's got a choice. Gallagher right now, you can see he's loving the fans, he's loving Vieira, he's loving his football. He's extremely passionate. When we concede a goal, you don't see anyone as frustrated as Gallagher. You look at the highlights; he's the one always putting his head in his face, hand in his face. So we need to sign Conor Gallagher. As I said, I will do whatever it takes. I'll swim across the Atlantic Ocean to have a chance of signing Conor Gallagher. But the question is, how much is he valued? People are taking more notice of him, especially after the City game. He's been tremendous for us throughout, but it's going to be a task. It's going to be a very difficult task. But Conor Gallagher, if we just sign him, I would be happy with that because he is that important and he's got bags of potential. Even if we sign him for, let's say, £30 million, which I don't really see Palace spending that much money, I think he can turn into a 50 or 60 million pound player because what I've seen so far in this Palace side, he can do pretty much everything.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that and looking at the players that we mentioned, how have Palace been lining up, or what would be your predicted lineup for Saturday's game?
So it's pretty much like a 4-3-3. That's what Vieira likes to use. And then we have Vicente Guaita in goal, Joe Ward as a right back. We have new centre half pairings, Mark Guay and Joachim Anderson, both very good on the ball. And that's how we can play out from the back. On left back, we've got Tyreek Mitchell, youngster. He made his debut against you guys a couple seasons ago. I think it might be last season. I don't know what's going on with the pandemic. Can't keep up with it. I think it might be last season. He's very good this season. And then we have that one holding midfielder, which it rotates between Luka and Cheku Kouyaté. So I think Luka Milivojevic will start in this game. And then we've got MacArthur and Conor Gallagher ahead of him in the central areas. Out on the right-hand side, Jordan Ayew started against City, but I think Olisa will come back into the side because we expect to keep the ball a bit more against you guys than we would have done against City. So Olisa will come back in. And then it's very hard to say because Vieira likes to change it about. So Zaha started up front against City, but I'm not too sure if Vieira is going to do the same thing. You might have Zaha starting up front, or you might have Edouard starting up front. It might be Benteke. So it's very hard for me to predict the lineups. But it'll be one of them three. It'll be either Edouard starting out wide, or Zaha starting out wide, or Edouard starting up front. So out of them three players, just expect, I think Zaha will start, but I'm not too sure where he'll start. I think Edouard will start. But I'm not too sure between them two who's going to play up front, who's going to play down the left-hand side. But yeah, that's our normal lineup, but it does change from game to game.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, and it's good for. I mean, I mentioned it on your channel about the sort of the attacking depth that Wolves have got, and it's good to see. Palace as well. We're all jealous of these big teams like your Chelsea, your Liverpool, your City with this depth that they've got. But it's great to see teams like ourselves now have this depth, and you can rotate it, and you can rely on different players for different situations. But I know we spoke a little bit about it again. Score predictions. I mean, I've gone with a 2-1 Wolves, both teams to score. What are you thinking?
I'm going for 2-0 Palace. The reason why I'm going for that is I was going to actually go for 1-0. I was going to go for 1-0 on our channel, but then after you said 2-1 Wolves, I thought, you know what? Let's have a bit of fun as well. We kept the clean sheet against City. I think it's going to be a difficult game. I think what I saw from Everton, you guys are playing some good football. It'll be interesting to see how Vieira sets up in terms of how we're going to press against the back three. But I think at home, we need to really keep clean sheets. I think that's been the one area where we've been good defensively, but it makes no sense because we always have this one or two errors, and slowly, we're starting to cut them off. So if we have no errors in this game, no individual mistakes, then I think we're a solid defensive side. So I'm going for a 2-0 Palace win, but as I said, I won't be surprised if it's 2-2 or 2-1 to you guys, or 1-0. I think it's going to be a close game. I think both teams have got talent on their side, and also got new managers who play a different style of football. So I'm excited by the game. I think it's going to be tighter than what most people think. But yeah, I'm going 2-0 Palace.
Fair enough. D, back of the nest, where can people find you guys, and what sort of content do you do?
So yeah, Back of the Nest on YouTube, we're pretty much doing all types of content, live match reaction show, player ratings, just individual reactions. We got loads of things going on, opposition previews as well, and live shows midweek. So if you want to go over to our YouTube channel, find us there, or even our social media account, Back of the Nest on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you use your social media website. So yeah, head over and check over Back of the Nest. And yeah, we should have our chat coming up shortly as well. So if you want to go and see what
I'll I'll make sure I leave a link to that channel in the description down below, guys. And D, apart from on Saturday, I wish Palace the best of luck for the rest of the season. And yeah, many thanks for jumping on Talking Wolves.
Thank you.
So big thanks to D again. You can check out their channel Back at the Nest in the description down below, guys. And of course, I made him change his predictions slightly there because I like to back Wolves. You know, I like to back Wolves. I'm a very, very positive fan when it comes to results and so on and backing the team. And I'm going to go for the old faithful 2-1. I think we've just not quite got enough at the moment to be keeping these clean sheets. We're conceding the odd goal here and there, but this might come back to bite me, but I think we are stronger than Palace, and I'm not taking anything away from Palace there because I think they're a really strong side. Vieira's got them playing a good style of football now, a lot more positive than what the Palace fans have been used to, and they've got some cracking players, cracking young players in there as well. So I'm going to back Wolves though. I think we are stronger than them, but Palace, it's going to be a tight game. It could be a goal either way, to be honest. But let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comment section down below. What do you think about this game? Do you think Wolves can edge it? Do you think we can get a win and extend our unbeaten run going into the international break and hopefully, potentially, break into the top 6 going into the international break? How good would that be, guys? As always, let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button down below, guys. Subscribe to the channel. We'll have the match reaction and the fans react over the weekend. But until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.